Hackstep / your horror movie podcast.
What is up, everybody? The Blair Witch Project, 1999, the classic. It's iconic, and we need to talk about it. Welcome to the Hackstep / podcast. I am just Justin, here with my partner Sean. Sean, how you doing today, buddy? Oh my God, that's so awkward. I forgot. It's a solo pod. It's my first solo pod. Sean's not here to help me. Yeah, we're gonna get through this regardless. It's gonna be a little weird talking to nobody. Sean's not gonna be able to jump in there and help me when I start pronouncing things wrong and I start stuttering and my brain fog goes all over the place, but we're gonna get through this. All right, rewatching The Blair Witch Project. Before I get into this, I asked myself two questions getting into this. Ready? Will I still find this scary? And the second one is, do I just still think this basically holds up as a movie? We all know back in 1999, I mean, this was groundbreaking. This was ahead of its time. And I just want to talk about how I first saw this. I did not see this in theaters when it came out. I was a teenager, but I did when it first came to whatever on demand or however I watched it then. I watched it at like midnight by myself after I came home from a party. I can literally remember this at my parents' house on the couch. I threw this on and I was terrified, absolutely terrified. And also, though, people have to remember the promotions and how they promoted this and everything, and the marketing was way ahead of its time. You didn't have TikTok and all these different things, all these different platforms. So everyone like giving their reviews, spoiling it. You basically just had like internet and all these different things, and they made this seem like it was real. The guerrilla marketing and the posters they had out there. I mean, even Burkittsville itself, the actual town, had some amazing promotions of this. I actually thought this was a real documentary, so I was on the edge of my seat the whole entire time. I thought the Blair Witch was real. But yeah, so I guess this is actually like my first rewatch in a long time, so I'm so excited to get into this. But I also want to ask, like, do you guys love this? Let me know in the comments. Do you guys love this or do you hate it? And honestly, it's funny that because I am doing a solo podcast and Sean had no problem with that at all. He actually suggested I do this because he does not love found footage. And we also all do know that Blair Witch is one of the shakiest of like camera work of all the found footages. But we're going to jump into this right now. And first of all, I should not have taken the AC out because my wife's like, oh, Justin, take the AC out. It's September. And it feels like 100 freaking degrees out there. I am glistening. If you guys are watching this on YouTube, look at this glisten right here. I am absolutely glistening. It is so hot. But anyway, let's get into this. We see the famous writing on the screen. October 1994. Three student filmmakers disappeared in Burkittsville, Maryland, filming a documentary. A year later, their footage was found. And then, boom, right in there, we meet the three different people. We see Heather and Josh, and they go get their friend Mike. Well, not their friend yet, but they go get Mike, and they are all talking about how they are going to go to Burkittsville, which was formerly known as Blair, and they want to tell the story of the Blair Witch, and they want to interview the locals and find out about this legend from the real people right there. And they all going to do this. They are going to do this by filming on camera. They're going to be holding the cameras. They're going to be filming every single thing along the way and take us along for the ride. So they get into town, and right away, it's going really good. They start asking people, and people are very excited to talk about it. And one of the guys even says, oh, yeah, local legend, this guy named Mr. Parr. Back in the 1940s, it was 1940 or 41, he was a hermit. He lived out in the forest, and he abducted 7 kids, and he killed them all. And he had this little like cabin way out there in the woods. He would have one like stand in the basement in the corner facing the wall while he killed the other ones. Other people they interviewed all said, "Oh yeah, we heard the stories." And one guy's even like, "Oh yeah, my mom said if like we didn't do the chores or whatever, like the Blair or go to bed on time, the Blair Witch would come and get us." Everyone's like, "Oh yeah, everybody knows this is haunted. Everybody knows this is haunted." They even meet this crazier old woman. Well, is she actually crazy or is she actually onto something? I don't know, but guess what? She swears when she was younger, she saw the witch, and she said it was very creepy. It was this woman, and she had like almost like a robe, and she was very hairy. She said it was wicked creepy, and she talked about like different rock piles and stuff finding out in the woods, all this fun, creepy stuff. Well, guess what? Now we're on to day two. They are going to start hiking into the woods. And they run into two fishermen that are fishing out there in a nice river. And one of them right away tells them another really important story. Back in 1888, we had a young girl named Robin. And guess what? She went missing for a couple of days. But when she came back, like 3 days later, she just kept talking about the story of an old woman who basically floated. Her feet never touched the ground. And one of the fishermen's kind of like, yeah, yeah, like whatever, this is crazy. And like the other guy's like, no, 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 another day. I came out here. We all know this forest is haunted. I saw these weird vapors, like a mist or something from these waters, and just everybody knows this is haunted. This is real. And the other guy's kind of just like, yeah, yeah, whatever. Well, they're like, all right, thank you so much for the interview. And they're on to hike to Coffin Rock. What a cool name is that, right? Coffin Rock. Honestly, I hike a lot. And I think if something was called Coffin Rock, I'd probably just skip it. But then again, I watch way too many horror movies. But then again, let's get back into this because what I say on to Coffin Rock. So now they're at Coffin Rock, and Heather is narrating, and she basically says this was a terrifying place because in the 19th century there was five men. They were tortured in a ritualistic killing. Heck, they even had their intestines like ripped out. They were slaughtered, their bodies dragged away. No one even knows why. Really scary stuff. And guess what? They're gonna camp overnight. So, it's nighttime or whatever. They're not too spooked yet. So they camp. And they honestly they hear some sounds overnight. I'd almost just want to say it sounds like almost like just crunching of leaves, but it's like in the trees. So you hear just a bunch of rustling way up in the trees. I mean, it would freak me out right away. That's like my first red flag. You know what? We're gonna throw a red flag right here. Usually Sean's here to tell me to throw the red flags. I'm calling a red flag right now. Anyway, so they hear the sounds or whatever, but they're like, you know what? Whatever. The next day they wake up and they kind of talk about it, but they just decide to move on. And right away, there's already some tension growing between this group because they're starting to get lost. They kind of can't read the map. Mike can't read the map at all. The other two, like, no, we're going the right directions or whatever. Or they can't. Whatever. They're like a little bit of bickering. I mean, it's gonna happen. There's three people. They're trying to get the good story. They want to just do this good, and it's time to get lost. And then guess what? They hike across the river, and then across the river. So I mean, they're getting out there right now. They come across seven rock piles. You know what? We're throwing another red flag. Interrupt this program for another red flag. Heather right away kind of remembers the older woman saying, wait, what did she mention? Like rock piles? I feel like that woman mentioned something about rock piles. What was it she said? Other guys just, kind of blow it off and whatever. And it is nighttime again. And guess what? They're hearing sounds all around. Yeah, I would be like, yep, I'm just out of here. Absolutely out of here. And the next day comes, and guess what? They kind of start getting lost again. So it's not going good right now because Mike is getting absolutely pissed. He's like, dude, I need to be back to work tomorrow. Like, no, we're supposed to find the car. I can't camp again tonight. I'm supposed to be at work. I agreed with this for you guys to just do this a couple days or whatever. So he's getting pissed. But guess what? Nighttime again. Sounds get a little worse. They are crackling from the tree to the point where like they wake up and they're kind of like freaking out in the middle of the night or whatever, but they get through the night and then guess what? In the morning, three piles of rocks outside of the tent. There's three of them. They each have a pile of rocks outside of the tent. They are way out there. I'm throwing two red flags. Get out. Just get out. Just find your way out. Just absolutely, absolutely get out. Now, like Heather's like, dude, I can't find the map. Like, what do you mean you can't find the map? She's like, I can't find the map. And she's getting pissed. She's like, no, I know where I keep the map. I always keep the map in the same spot. I can't find the map. Please tell me this is a joke. She keeps thinking this is a joke. Is this a joke? Like, show me the map. Show me the map. One of you guys must have the map, right? Please tell me one of you guys have the map. And they are like kind of going crazy already. They're like to the point where like starting going slap happy. Mike's starting to act really weird, like a lunatic and everything. And he's like laughing, going crazy. And he actually says, you know what? In like a mad rage, he's like laughing and everything. He's like, you know what? I threw the map into the creek. I kicked it into the creek. What the hell? When I tell you they are fight, they are screaming at this point. She's like, if anything happens to us, this is 100% on you. Holy shit, dude. You don't do this. How do you throw the map? And guess what? I understand you are having a hard time finding directions. It can be stressful, but obviously you can sleep on it and wake up and just try to like make a new plan or something. Obviously, I mean, I guess that's tough to say that when you have the Blair effing witch coming at you, but you don't throw the map. You don't throw the map, dude. Oh my God, do I hate Mike right now? Like, are you kidding me? And they're absolutely pissed. And from this point, this movie starts to pick up because guess what? It is getting to be a little bit for bad. And what do they find? Hanging creepy stick figures. Everybody knows those stick figures. Let me see if it's on the picture behind me. No, it looks like I just got the close up with Heather. But that those famous, terrifying stick figures that's associated with this movie are everywhere. They are hanging from the trees. I mean, all the red flags. I'm just throwing all of them. That's like 20 red flags right there. Absolutely get out. Also, why am I rewatching this movie as a hiker? I'm currently trying to hike every single town in the whole entire state. And why? Why? Just why? Why would I watch this movie? Like, son of a bitch, it's my. I have no one to get mad at either. I picked this. This is my fault. No one. It's just Sean's not even here to help me. Usually, I have a second person like kicking to Sean. Sean, you're not even here. And now I'm talking to myself. And anyway, so yeah, that's not good because guess what? Now it's time to go to sleep. And when I said it just starts getting worse because now they're hearing kids laughing. These kids are like creepy laughing all around to the point where these three get out of the tent. They just friggin' panic and run. They just run into the friggin' woods screaming, absolutely screaming, terrifying. At one point, you hear her say, like, what the hell is that? And like, look, you think she's gonna see something, but she doesn't see something. But it's morning time now, and it's still all the red flags are happening still because guess what? Their stuff is gone through, and like the bags messed up, moved, and everything. The tents kind of look like it's ramsacked, and there's some kind of slime all over Josh's like bag. There's like slime or something there. He's kind of pissed off. He's like, "How come I'm the one that gets the slime? Like, what the hell even is this?" They start going hiking. They start panicking and screaming again because guess what? They come across a tree and a river that they already passed earlier. Like this it doesn't even make sense because she's like, we've been walking south this whole entire time. How this is not possible. So it also makes you like think like, what is this like? I don't even know. Is this some kind of weird time loop they're stuck in? Is the Blair Witch messing with their mind? What is even happening? Because this should not be possible. Especially, I mean, I don't know how good at hiking skills they are and stuff, but like you should be able to find bodies of water, follow it out. I mean, you should kind of have a way. I mean, I guess it doesn't help when Mike threw the map away, but the fact that they're somehow like in circles, this is not good. Anyway, night comes, you know the deal. It's been getting, and they're starting to panic too because they're realizing like every night is getting a little more intense. They're starting to get messed with a little more, a little more. It's not going good. Now, guess what? They go to sleep, nothing happens, but in the morning, yeah, it went bad. Josh is now freaking missing. He's gone. They can't find him. They hike throughout the day. I mean, now it's just, I mean, never mind. It's just Heather and Mike right now, and we already had crazy tension between them two. Well, guess what? Now they have to be together because Josh is freaking missing. They can't find him. You see him hiking all throughout the day or whatever again, and then it's nighttime, and then it's just absolutely terrifying. Imagine in the middle of the night, you're just hiking, you just hear someone yelling, and it sounds like Josh. They just hear him absolutely yelling, and it almost sounds like he was like screaming in pain. He did not sound good. Next morning. So remember, the morning before we had the rock piles, and this morning they have the damn stick figure in front of the tent. Mike's not right there. Heather's the one that sees it. Mike's kind of down like near like a river or something, but she sees it. There's a bundle of fabric, which looks like it is Mike's shirt. She kind of opens it, and it looks like hold on, drink break. And it looks like it is bloody teeth. There's like some hair in there. She screams, absolutely freaks out. But the weird thing is though, she doesn't tell Mike. I don't know. I mean, maybe it's just her trying to be tough and just like not have Mike panic because they need each other. But he's like, "Are you okay?" or whatever, and she just kind of like plays it down, and everything, and just like, yeah, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine. Clearly, she's not fine because holy shit, this means like this witch is actually messing with him, and he is not good. And then at night, we have the scene, the classic scene. Anyone watching on YouTube can see it's Heather right behind me. She's got the flashlight right up in her face, close up of Heather, and guess what? She is apologizing to all their fams. Mike's fam, Josh fam, her family. She's taking responsibility for everything. And it's the close up where she's sobbing, she's crying, she's got the snot bubbles coming out of her mouth. This is absolutely iconic. She says, I'm scared to close my eyes. I'm scared to open them. Like we're being hunted by something like so evil. Amazing scene. And once again, they hear Josh. They hear Josh again. So the two of them run into the woods, and holy shit, what do they find? They come across the abandoned ruins. I can only imagine of this is Mr. Parr. I believe his first name is Rustin or something. Rustin. And well, guess what? They find Mr. Parr's abandoned house, and they hear screams again. They walk through it. This thing has not looked good. They go upstairs to like the attic of this thing. He's not there. You almost hear something come from down below. So they're like, all right, we got to go into the basement. As they're walking around, mind you, there are a lot of handprints on these walls. Bloody handprints of young kids and children. Just, dude, all the red flags. Absolutely terrifying. So freaking scary. Um, and they go to the basement, and Mike all of a sudden gets attacked. You don't see him get attacked. He also does like you hear a quick scream by him, and he falls, and the camera just drops the camera, and to the point where Heather, you see her screaming, and she runs in there, and you see Mike now is standing in the like, oh my God, chills. Mike is standing in the corner, just staring into the corner like the friggin' legend. And she kind of like almost goes to say something to him, but then she falls. Well, she gets attacked. Camera falls on the ground. She screams, "Holy shit!" The end. All right, got a lot of thoughts about this one. To answer, let's first, before I give this a rating and everything, let's answer this. Will I still find this scary? Well, for me, as someone who hikes, is always in the woods, always outdoors, literally, like I said, I mean, I have 300 more hikes left of the mission that I'm on right now. Yes, it does scare me a lot. I can see how people do not say this is scary. Well, I'll talk about that too, but I did still find this scary. And does it still hold up? That's another one too. I don't know how, almost yes and no, because I lower my expectations now. Like I said, when I first watched this, I have to remember I watched it at midnight. I watched it alone. I was still a teenager. I thought this was 100% real. So when everyone who watched it then, you're watching something you think is real, or at least like you're like, could it be real? Is there an actual legend? Then you think you're like, it's a movie, but you're like, oh, this is an actual real legend because literally people. I mean, one of the fun facts are the three actors. Obviously, they were given like a small script and stuff, but they actually thought this was a real legend. They knew they were making a fake movie, but they thought it was a real legend. So if they thought it was a real legend, picture watching this as like a 15, 16-year-old thinking it's real at night. So like you're like holding your breath because this is so realistic. Now, if I was like, I don't know, a 16-year-old kid now watching this, that's a little different because there's been so many found footage movies since then. I mean, I've seen people who dislike found footage just basically make fun of this movie, saying, oh, it's just like three people running around the woods. So, like I said, I mean, maybe it doesn't hold up as great. I still enjoyed it, but I also had a lot of nostalgia to this movie. But I don't know, I guess that's food for thought. Some food for thought right there. But it's tough. So like I rank this a 7.8. I think it's a 7.8. Obviously, could there be more action and stuff? Yes, 100%. Like a lot of it's super shaky camera. I know a lot of people just get turned off by that. And the action with the Blair Witch and stuff, they're heck, they don't even like show the Blair Witch. But like I said, I got so hooked in, it's so realistic. That's what really, really kind of freaked out for me. But let's talk about some fun facts. All right, so fun facts. The three of these people all had to sign a agreement to get their minds messed with while making this movie. And one of the things is real at the 46-minute mark, the tent shakes. That was unscripted. That was the director did that. The actors actually got terrified because imagine just being out in the woods out there and you're like following this path and told to where to go and you had to hike to these certain spots while they were filming this movie and having that happen, terrifying. The director, two people directed this. See if I got the names here. We got Eduardo Sanchez, and the other one was Daniel Merrick. And this was written and directed by both of them. Shout out both of those guys. They had walkie-talkies with three of them with the directors to make sure that the actors would not get lost. And guess what? They actually still did get lost. The amazing thing about this movie is the budget was 60K. All right, are you ready for this? It made 248 million. This actually had was the top budget box office like by ratio. I don't even know 100% know what that means, but like forever. But this is one of the most profitable movies, if not the first one that's like ever been made. Like that is unbelievable. So this is why I feel like this movie's so iconic because whether everyone watched it and whether you liked it or hated it, what this did for found footage is unbelievable. And even on our podcast here, like I said, I love found footage. Sean does not love found footage. But and talking about how everyone thought this was real. Ready for this one? Heather's mom got real sympathy cards from people who thought her daughter actually went missing or was killed or wasn't sure what was going on right there. All three of these actors, they all used their real first names. Once again, making this seem like this was a real documentary. And to film this, it only took 8 days to film this movie, but it took 8 months to edit it because the all almost all this movie was shot from their three cameras. And so obviously the director filmed a little bit of it, but then he had to get all this content from everybody and piece this thing together as a cohesive movie. Absolutely amazing. And I think I mentioned this one earlier, but the three actually believed the legend was real until learning later on it was all made up. Like I said, they obviously knew what they were filming a fake movie, but they thought there was a real legend right here. And there was a scene, the witch was supposed to be seen in the scene where I think it was Heather, where she's like, "What was that?" She just like screams, like, "What the F was that?" And they were running in the woods. That they forgot, like I said, they're running in the. This is real. They're freaked out. They're running in the woods. They were supposed to pan the camera over, I guess, and catch a glimpse of something, but that did not happen. And they ended up. They just decided to just keep with the flow of that and to not reshoot it. Let's see. After this movie, so many people who still like me believed this was real. They went to Maryland to research the legend. And like I said, I do remember, I don't know if it was called The Curse of the Blair Witch or something like that. There was like a TV movie or like almost like a TV documentary that also came out the same year about this that made it seem super real too. So like I said, oh man, I was so freaked out. Let's see here. We got almost all the lines were improvised and they had on-camera surprises, like I mentioned earlier. So they were pretty much given, I think were given like a guideline of kind of like what they were supposed to they were allowed to say anything, but they kind of had to keep on this schedule for this, run into this, but how they reacted with each other, that was all just improvised. What else do we got here? Um Also, all right, so I gotta give a shout out because I do love found footage. Shout out to the director Eduardo Sanchez, one half of them. If you guys do like found footage and you guys like movies out in the woods and everything, and you like cryptids or anything, you have to check out 2014's movie about Bigfoot. It's called Exist, and I can't even say enough good things about that. That is oh, it's probably my favorite Bigfoot movie, and it has got to be up there in like my top 3 to 4 found footage movie. Absolutely love that one from the same director. So shout out for him for making two amazing found footage. This movie had, well, all right, so it had a remake. It had one sequel. Let's talk about the sequel real fast. So this had Blair Witch 2, Book of Shadows that came out in the year 2000. Now I saw this way back then too. So I've seen this movie twice. I saw it way back then and I hated it so much. I couldn't even talk to you about how much I hated it. Shout out Jeffrey Donovan's in it. Love Jeffrey Donovan. You guys, amazing actor. But I when I rewatched it a second time, I actually had a lot of fun. It was like because I think the first time I saw it, I was expecting something like really serious like this. But it's kind of like really campy and it's almost like one of those movies that is so bad it's good. So I did rewatch it again. Once again, not saying it's good, just kind of saying it's so bad it's good and it's kind of fun. This also spawned a 2016 remake by Adam Wingard. Now, before I trash this one, I want to shout out Adam Wingard, amazing director. This dude did You're Next. I believe that came out in 2011. Love this our podcast. Sean loves it too. Your Next is absolutely amazing, but I did not like the remake. Kind of watched it, and I felt like it was kind of I don't know. I found it like it's a tough movie to remake. You know what I mean? Because like I said, how it felt. This one felt so realistic. This other one just felt kind of like copying that, but you already knew it wasn't realistic. I don't know if that even makes sense, but I wasn't a big fan of that. So I guess I don't know. But that pretty much wraps it up. Share this, smash the like, hit that subscribe. Also, let me know how I did because honestly, for me to talk this long solo is like the toughest thing ever. Sean's actually going to do a solo movie too. Podcast. Tune in to us all October. We're doing 31 days of horror podcast. Sean is going to cover Nightmare Before Christmas because that's also a classic. People love it. I'm not gonna lie, I don't love it too much. I don't really love when movies sing a lot, but that's just me. I know people love it, so check out Sean when he does his solo episode. And I'm gonna get out of here. Have the best day ever. Sean, I was like, Sean, take us away. Sean's not here. So just Justin signing off. Have the best day ever and go watch some found footage. How do I stop recording? How do I stop recording? Sean better edit this part out. Sean better edit this part out.